Be sure to comment, subscribe, and click the notifications bell.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, what is up, guys? JD Venom here, part of Venom Nation Wrestling, and I am back here with another review for you guys here tonight. Tonight's SmackDown Live just ended, just went off the air, and before we begin, go check out my Raw review from last night. Brand new image to the channel here, so starting reviews back up here. This is my second review, second night in a row. And I would appreciate you guys to go check it out. Very good review, I thought. And, yeah, I would appreciate if you go check it out and give me your thoughts. But that was last night. We're here tonight. We're here to talk about SmackDown Live. And tonight's show overall, better than Raw, I will say. But not by that much. It was slow. We were missing a lot of things tonight here. We're missing Randy Orton. AJ Styles didn't wrestle. Shinsuke Nakamura didn't wrestle, which, you know, he's a fucking major attraction. He's a special attraction, rather. So he doesn't need to wrestle every week. He just doesn't. We didn't see the Usos 2 straight weeks in a row, but I'll go over a very, very funny vignette. One of the best damn things I see in a while on WWE television. When we go over that in a moment here. But before we begin, guys, be sure to click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and like the Facebook page, where both links are down below. Tell your friends and tell your family to come and join the Venom Nation Wrestling here on YouTube. So, we just ended SmackDown here. Like I said, SmackDown tonight was better than Raw. Not saying much, but still better than Raw overall because, A, it's only 2 hours. B, I really see them attempting to do more stuff, and more things actually happen tonight than what happened on Raw, even though SmackDown is only 2 hours. But despite that, we got a brand new United States Championship. Yes, Kevin Owens is your new United States Champion. And Chris Jericho just won the title back on Sunday at Payback, and Kevin Owens has already, cashed in his rematch clause. I'm using that term loosely, cash in. But he invoked his rematch clause, and he won against Chris Jericho tonight. All this here was to do 2 things. A, get Chris Jericho on SmackDown, and B, to write off Chris Jericho. Now, the main event from tonight was not as great as last night's main event. Last night's main event was fucking awesome, fucking great. But good dynamic between these two. I like to see these two wrestle, even though they wrestle each other already 3 times in a month and a half, which is, some people will complain about it, some people don't. But they wrestled 3 times within a month and a half in a one-on-one match. And basically, it was the same type of match that we've seen. Little bit differences here. This match basically ends where Kevin Owens hits the DDT on the concrete, outside on the floor. Kevin Owens puts Chris Jericho back into the ring. They scrap a little bit more. Then Kevin Owens hits the pop-up powerbomb for the 1-2-3 victory. And Kevin Owens, like I said, he is the new United States Championship. But, that is one of the important things, of course, Kevin Owens being the new United States Champion. But the second important thing, which I probably think is the most important thing, is that Chris Jericho is being ran off on TV. He's being ran off. After the match, we see Owens attack Chris Jericho with another pop-up powerbomb. Then basically, we thought the show was going off of the air. There were still 2 minutes left, so you knew something was happening. Chris Jericho sells a concussion due to the DDT on the concrete. He was selling the concussion. Chris Jericho is a master of selling, and he was doing that pretty well. Kevin Owens comes back, hits Chris Jericho with a forearm, rushing him to the ring when, paramedics and referees and, they were trying to help Jericho get to the back. Kevin Owens came back out, hits Chris Jericho with a forearm. Then he grabs a steel chair, and he was acting like he was going to hit Jericho in the back with the steel chair to end it all. Good tease. But no, Owens puts the steel chair around Chris Jericho's neck, throws him into the side ring post there, And they're going to play the fact that, Chris Jericho's neck is crushed, his Adam's apple is crushed, and that's the way that he's going to be ran off TV. You know that they're going to have maybe another feud when Jericho comes back. I don't know if it's going to be around SummerSlam or after that, but Fozzie's going on tour. Fozzie, right, guys? So that's the reason why, Jericho's leaving the company for now, and we all know that. Don't want to insult your intelligence, but I thought it was a good way to write Jericho off. It's believable, I guess, if you're a casual, it's believable, what happened to Jericho. And one more important thing I really take away from this is that Kevin Owens is looking like NXT heel Kevin Owens, and I'm liking it. I'm really digging it. I'm really digging what they're doing with Kevin Owens right now, because this is the type of heel that we want to see. We know that Kevin Owens is a funny guy like Chris Jericho, but we don't necessarily need to see that every week. You can make jokes every now and then, but you need to be that vicious asshole heel like how Kevin Owens can be. So, I truly think that WWE did a good job here of A, writing off Chris Jericho, B, making Kevin Owens look like a fucking, a legit badass, as he's always been legit, but making him look even more legit like a badass, and also as well, bringing him back to his heel persona in NXT, where he just doesn't give a shit. He's gonna hurt you and fuck you pretty much at the end of the day. So I like the main event. I like the fallout of the main event as well, and I thought it was a good way to end SmackDown. So SmackDown overall, though, like I said, it was a good show tonight, decent show, better than Raw. I mean, you had the main event there, and you also had in here as well tonight. Starting off with SmackDown here, and it was from Fresno, California, by the way. Of course, Fresno, California. Which is which tonight was a good crowd. I thought tonight was a good crowd. A lot of smart fans in the crowd tonight, and I'll be going over that in a moment on why I thought they were a little bit smart here. But SmackDown opens up with Jinder Mahal, a backstage promo from earlier today, and he's taking pictures with the WWE Championship. Shane McMahon comes up behind him and he takes back the title, and he's gonna give it back to Randy Orton, and basically, Jinder Mahal says, the Maharaja. Oh, I love that fucking name, the Maharaja, is gonna become the new WWE Champion at Backlash. So that's what happened before SmackDown. SmackDown opens up, and Shane McMahon comes out. He introduces Chris Jericho as a new member of SmackDown. Jericho comes out and says that this is his new show, and he says, this is the new show of Jericho. Smack it down, man. Gonna miss that. I'm going to miss that. I'm not gonna lie. I always get a chuckle when he's saying, drink it in, man, or cheer me on, man, or when he's making a variation of some sorts for it. So I am gonna miss that, because I'm a huge Jericho mark. I've been a Jericho mark since forever, since he's been in WCW. So I'm gonna miss him when he's going on his tour on Fozzy. But Shane announced that there was gonna be a title rematch between Owens and Jericho, which I just went over. AJ Styles comes out. He gets a huge pop. Coming out, and AJ Styles chants, and he's a fucking face. He's a face. He's not really acknowledging of him, being a face yet. But, he's basically a face, guys. Whether WWE is going to make him a face, the fans are actually already made him a face already. So, he comes out, he gets a fucking huge pop. He's still acting heel-like on the mic, though, at certain instances. He's not really like, oh, well, Chris Jericho's good to see you back. He still remembers his feud with Chris Jericho. He still remembers when Chris Jericho turned on him. And AJ Styles says that you're standing in the ring that AJ Styles built. Styles stated that, he will beat Chris Jericho for the title, or Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Doesn't matter who it is. Then, all of a sudden after that, Jericho says that he's going to be, the new face of the, USA, and Jericho decides that, he's going to try to put AJ Styles on the list. He says, you know what happens when you're trying to interrupt me? Then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Owens interrupts, and he says that he's going to take back what is his, that's the United States Championship, which he did. And he says what happened at the Festival of Friendship, what happened at WrestleMania will be nothing on what happens to you tonight, which is true, because this beatdown was brutal as shit, and worse than the Festival of Friendship for sure. So that was pretty much the end of that there for the segment. Then Owens then goes on to AJ Styles and says that, why are you even out here? Then immediately as Owens says that, AJ Styles exits the ring. Owens was going to try to say, say something about Shane. Before that, AJ Styles was already attacking Kevin Owens, which is obviously the new feud coming out of this year for the United States Championship between Owens and AJ Styles, which I think is going to be a great dynamic feud, because you got a lot of heat right now with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, who is the most over babyface right now in WWE. Like, he's the most over babyface right now in WWE until Nakamura gets there, and we'll see who's going to be more over, Nakamura or AJ Styles. But right now, it's not even close. AJ Styles is the most over babyface in WWE, and it's not, like I said, it's not even close. So, I can't wait to see these two, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. I want to see how this, how this dynamic comes about in the next few weeks, building up to Backlash. So, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes there. But, good segment, segment to start with the show here. Shane orders the referees to separate Styles and Owens, and that was in our first segment. First match of the night was the Maharaja. I can't say his name for some reason. The Maharaja. I love that fucking name. The Maharaja. Like, it gets me going. It wants me to get juiced up like fucking Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn. We get a recap before the match begins of last week's Talking Smack, where we saw Baron Corbin, who was another guy who we didn't see tonight, but they explain why we did not see Baron Corbin. He was suspended. And he was fine due to the attack of Sami Zayn on Talking Smack from last week, I should say, on the WWE Network. So they explained that why he wasn't there. Okay, I'm fine with that. One thing I notated about this match between Mahal and Zayn, and it's just a joke. They probably showed this match as the main event in India. You know how when the Great Khali was in WWE, anytime when Great Khali was on Raw or main event or whatever it is, whatever match that they show, they will show it in India as the main event, as if he was really main eventing. I think they're gonna do the same shit here for Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys anytime when they wrestle. Maybe, I'm just saying. Even though they're not technically, from India, they're both from Canada, but they're Indian descent. He's from, he has the Indian descent. I was gonna say he's from India. He's not from India, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that. That's all I'm really saying. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that. So basically, this match wasn't the best match. Zayn looked like he couldn't really work with Mahal, and I'm gonna give Mahal a chance. This is his actual first one-on-one match since joining SmackDown. I think Mahal needs to quicken his pace just a little bit, because if he quickens his pace, he will have a faster reaction time if he naturally quickens his pace. There was a couple botches here due to slow movement by Mahal. Mahal ended up giving the same elbow to Sami Zayn that he gave to Finn Balor, but Zayn was ready for this elbow. He knew that was coming, so good thing Zayn didn't take a huge shot as Finn Balor did. And like I said, this match was kind of slow because I think Mahal needs to quicken his pace up a little bit. If he wants to be that main heel, he needs to quicken up the pace just a little bit. Doesn't want to go too fast, because if you go too fast, you start making mistakes. He doesn't want to go too fast. But I think that if he quickens up his pace a little bit, he'll be fine. But I do like his, for the size that he is, he's a big dude, by the way. Like, they're showing him backstage, walking, and this may be because the Bollywood Boys may be too small too, so it could be that. But Jinder Mahal's a big fucking dude, man. He is not small at all. So I truly think that for his size, he has a decent moveset. Not a great moveset. It's not like he's fucking, fucking Nakamura or AJ Styles or fucking Seth Rollins or anybody, but for his moveset is decent, and I kind of enjoy it a little bit. This match ends where we see, and they call the Bollywood boys, I think their real last name is Sarav. They're now known as the Singh brothers. I don't like that. I don't understand why WWE must have to change their names all the time. It's because Singh is more common for Indian names, I guess. I just, like, yeah, Rajan Singh, you know what I mean? And now you have the Singh brothers. How about you just say that they're related to Rajan Singh? Just bring back Rajan Singh on TV. Might as well. They have the same last name, right? But I'm not too sure which, because they gave one of the Singh brothers names. I don't know. It's gonna take me a little bit while to learn their names. But they distracted Sami Zayn. They try to grab Sami Zayn's foot, and Jinder Mahal comes up behind, hits a Cobra Clutch Slam. I don't know what they're gonna be calling that move, but they need to have a lot of explaining to do with these moves and the Singh brothers and all that shit. So they need to really polish that up before Backlash for sure. So give Mahal's fucking finisher a name, and give us a more background on the Singh brothers, and give us their names and what their names are, and like actually differentiate between one or the other. But it was okay match. Like I said, Mahal needs some polishing up to do. He really needs some polishing up to do. And I think it's gonna come with time. I'll be patient with that. I'll give him a month or so, see how he polishes up. But a lot of people are probably upset that Sami Zayn lost again. And me personally, I don't think he's hurt by his loss at all. And that's just because of the fact that he lost because of the fact that, basically because of the fact that the Singh brothers just, was there and on the outside, and they basically distracted Sami Zayn from the win. So Sami Zayn, he didn't lose clean. If he didn't lose clean, I'm not upset by it. So hey, I agree that Sami Zayn does need to start putting some wins together, and he needs a little bit of a mean streak. I totally get that. I agree with that. Tonight is not the night to actually bitch about that. So I'm okay with it. It builds up Mahal as well, guys. You gotta build up Mahal some way. You gotta, if Mahal goes out there and beats up Mojo Fuck, who I fucking despise. If he goes out there and beats up Mojo Fuck, no one gives a shit. But if he beats up Sami Zayn, oh man, this guy actually may actually have a shot now of beating Randy Orton in the eyes of the casuals. I'm not saying anything like as far as with us smart fans, but in the eyes of the casuals, they may believe that, say, hey, he may have a chance against Randy Orton. So we have a backstage promo here of the Welcoming Committee. This is the new group of this stable of Carmella, Natalya, Tamina, and James Ellsworth. The Welcoming Committee. What the fuck? Come on, man. That is just as bad as you got the Welcoming Committee, you got the Union. Remember the Union? I could probably tell, like, it was Test. I believe it was Ken Shamrock, Vince McMahon, and Big Show, and Foley. I think that was the Union. That's a horrible name. This is like PMS, like another name that no one's gonna, or another stable that no one's gonna remember. No one's gonna remember this here. But they see Becky backstage. Natalya tells Becky not to trust Charlotte because she's still what could have been your title shot, Becky. And Becky, you're the first woman that was drafted to SmackDown, and you're being treated with disrespect. And you should join us. You should join us, and you should just eliminate Iommi and Charlotte with us. And Becky was like, well, you know what? I never thought about that. Becky, good selling here, good selling of it. It gives you that little intrigue and that little doubt in your head saying, okay, well, maybe Becky's actually considering it. Even though that we saw what happened later in the night. But Becky, I thought she did okay here in this segment here, and that was the end of that. We had a Shinsuke Nakamura extended promo package since he was not there. Tonight, we got a extended promo package from Shinsuke Nakamura, which I'm totally fine with. If you're not going to, and this is my rules in wrestling, if you're not going to have somebody there who's important, show a promo package or show something of him so we don't forget about him. So, good thing they show that extended promo package for Nakamura. They got big things coming from Nakamura. And again, I don't really mind him not being there. I don't really mind him not being there. And that's just simply because of the fact that, again, he's a special attraction. He does not need to be there every week. He does not need to be there every week. And again, like I said, I'm totally fine with it that they're going with the promo route and they're going with the old school route with Nakamura. They're treating Nakamura as Hulk Hogan back when he was WWF champion back in like 1989 and 1990 and, 88 and 87 and all the way went through, when he was champion all through the mid-80s on. He was not on TV every week. You may get a promo from him. You may get something from him, but he was not TV every week. The champion was never on TV every week. Now, be it that Shinsuke Nakamura is not the WWE champion, but it's the same philosophy, and I like that philosophy from WWE simply because of the fact that, again, if you keep having Nakamura come out every single week, it is going to not necessarily hurt his character per se, but we're going to get, come on guys, let's be real. Be real with yourselves for a second. Sit back and think for a moment. If you see Nakamura every week, the entrance, the him doing the Kinshasa, and he's great, aren't you gonna get tired of him? I would, and I love Nakamura. I would get tired of him because we're seeing the same shit every week. We're spoiled by seeing the same shit every week, by seeing Seth Rollins every week. If we didn't see Seth Rollins every week, if we did not see Finn Balor every week, guys, I'm naming off guys that I love. If we didn't see Sami Zayn every week, wouldn't we be more invested into them because we don't see enough of them? I think we would. If I was booking, I would go back to that old school philosophy. I will go back to bringing in actual jobbers. I'll go back to bringing in, actual, a lot of more promo packages, vignettes. We saw one tonight, which I'm about to get into in a moment, which is fucking hilarious. Probably one of the best things of the night. But I think that's, if I was doing it, and I know it's a different time, and I'm old school, and, some people like my theory, some people don't. It's your opinion. But I truly think that it would be better off if we had something like that. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. If you agree with me or disagree with that, having Nakamura being treated as like a Hulk Hogan and not being shown every week, because I think it does wonders for the roster if you were to do that, if you were to go back to that style. So I think everything would mean more. We wouldn't have to necessarily see Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho 3 times in a month and a half. We can just have that one match at WrestleMania, and that will be it. You know what I mean? But hey, like I said, it's a different time, and people will get tired of the squash matches and stuff. But I mean, you could have done, you could do things like instead of Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn tonight, you could have done, Jinder Mahal versus, someone who's lesser on the roster, or even a jobber. You could have done a jobber, you could have done somebody like Mojo Rawley. He wasn't on the show tonight. What was he doing? You know what I mean? You could have done something like that. But hey, to each of its own. And back to the actual promo here. So Nakamura has promo, his extended promo. Dolph Ziggler was in the back. He sees the promo and he says that he's surprised that a whole pay-per-view is built around of Nakamura. Huge Nakamura chants was being chanted out in Fresno. Thank you, Fresno, California, for not being a fucking graveyard site tonight. You were lively. I love it. Thank you. He starts talking about Ziggler, starts talking about bad about Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan, who's not there because if you be on social media, Bree's about to pop. So congratulations to Daniel Bryan. If he has his child, we don't know when he's gonna be having a child, but she should have supposed to pop already, but she has not yet. But congratulations, and hopefully the whole procedure goes well for Bree and Bryan, and hopefully their baby comes out happy and healthy. But he was talking about him and Shane, as authority figures, saying that, hey, how can they allow this? How can they allow, Nakamura to do this? Shane was standing behind him the whole entire time as Ziggler was just slandering him. And Ziggler, he wasn't talking to himself. He was talking to some random standbys. It could have been local talent that was there backstage. You know how WWE has these standbys sometimes backstage with certain wrestlers. So it was something like that. But basically, Shane was standing behind him, and he was all like, well, his name is Shinsuke Nakamura. And Ziggler basically says that, well, I thought, okay, that's who he is. Well, I like his entrance. I think his entrance is pretty cool. You know what I mean? But Ziggler says, well, you know what? He has a match against Sin Cara tonight. He says that he's going to hurt Sin Cara tonight. So that was the end of that segment, pretty much. We then go on to our next match, which was Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, versus Aiden English. And English is still doing his singing NXT gimmick before the match. Ty Dillinger comes out 10 chants over. Again, thank you, Fresno, for you need fans like that. That's why that WWE needs fans like us. As much as they don't like to carry to us at times, they need fans like us because that's how you're going to get these guys over. We need to be the voice. If you, and really, if anybody, I would say, would participate in new guys' chants or saying their names like Nakamura, the casuals will catch on to that. The casuals will get into it. It's like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Delete. Is that how it goes? Delete 10. That's how it goes. Get the casuals involved. That's how you're gonna get these guys over more quickly, and that's how you're gonna get their chance over more quickly. So, like I said, don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but if you like the guy, if you really appreciate what they do, be sure to do that at any wrestling event, especially in WWE, because if there's what WWE says, if there's no reaction, then we don't care about them. So the fans don't care about them, I should say. This match was a squash match. Ty Dillinger wins with a new version of the tiebreaker, I want to say, because the original tiebreaker was basically AJ Styles' move when he puts him up in a fireman's carry, flips him over into a net breaker on the knee. He kind of does like not necessarily it's kind of like a GTS, but he's on his knees. So basically it's like a fireman's carries, but Dillinger drops down onto one of his knees and drops Aiden English on his knee. So I don't know if they're going to keep that. You let me know what you think about that, guys. I don't really like it. I don't really like that new finisher, but I understand why they have to change the finisher because AJ Styles is already using it too. So, Ty Dillinger will probably need a better maneuver. Just give him the TKO. Give him the TKO. Put him on fireman's carry and turn him around into a diamond cutter or something. I mean, I'll be fine with that. And you can still call that the tiebreaker. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. But Dillinger wins in a squash match with that new version of the tiebreaker. Aiden English cries after the match, and he's really balling in the ring. And Aiden English, there's rumor of him getting a new gimmick. I don't know if this is going to be him in the process of getting his new gimmick of him crying. There's something to that. There's something to this, guys. I think it's going to be one of those things where English loses a couple weeks in a row and keeps crying. Kind of like the whole, remember when Christian had that whole gimmick where he was crying in the ring and he was having a tantrum in the ring? Something like that. I think we're going to see the wheels starting to roll in this new gimmick, wherever it is. Or if he's just going to keep his NXT gimmick. I don't know. Who knows? But I see something with that. Well, I notice things like that. I pay attention to things like that. I think this is where they're going with a new gimmick for Aiden English. I don't agree with it, but hey, whatever, right? So Chris Jericho's backstage with Renee Young. He calls her Ronnie. So anybody who's a fucking interviewer is going to be a different name by Chris Jericho. Fucking love it. Jericho sees Aiden English, and this is after commercial break. We come back. He sees him crying. He says, "There's no crying on SmackDown." And he says nice things about Aiden. He's just like, you're good looking. You got a hairy chest. Love it. he was going to, he went and said, you know what happens when, and he has, you know what happens. Anytime I says, you know what happens in Chris Jericho, he puts Aiden English on the list, and he actually puts Renee Young on the list as well. So you're going to go on the list as well, for no fucking reason, which is funny stuff. Like I said, I'm going to miss Jericho. I'm going to miss Jericho when he's gone away for a few months. So after that, we see, I believe, after that, we go right into another interview. Charlotte was getting interviewed, and the welcoming committee comes back, and they start attacking her. And pretty much right before the match began. And so basically, it was an ambush in the back between Charlotte. It was getting ambushed by the welcoming committee. And that was our next match coming up, which was Charlotte and Iommi versus Natalya and Carmel, which is being built pretty much all night, going into the second hour. At the end of the first hour, going to the second hour. Iommi starts the match in the ring, and she's introduced first. Then the welcoming committee comes out. Charlotte, she didn't come out until later in the match. Natalya, she's been doing this for a while. But I think I'm gonna get this over. I think I'm gonna try to get this over with you guys. You let me know. You let me know if this is funny or not. I love it when Natalya goes, yeah! I don't fucking know why she does that. She looks like a cheerleader, like, ready? Okay. Yeah! I find that hilarious, actually. The heels dominate in this match, working on Iommi. Carmella and Natalya was working on Iommi until Charlotte comes out. Charlotte gets that hot tag coming in. She cleans house. She's already just holding ribs coming out to the ring. She's selling like if she was fucking her dad. And pretty much we go to a commercial break. We come back from a commercial break. And, Naomi and Charlotte are still struggling to get the upper hand on the welcoming committee. That name is so fucking stupid. The welcoming committee. So fucking stupid. But Naomi gets back into the ring. She gets her hot tag in. She hits a rear view on Carmella. Distractions by Natalya and James Ellsworth, of all people, basically helps Carmella rolling up the pinfall for her team, and beats Naomi. After the match ends, the heels assault Naomi and Charlotte. Becky Lynch comes out to the ring, and she gives a good tease for a slight moment, that she was going to turn heel. She shakes the hands of all the members of the welcoming committee. She goes in for a hug on James Ellsworth, but Becky being Becky, good thing she's still face, because I don't think I want to see, four, or in this case, 5 heels, if you count James Ellsworth, over 2 baby faces on SmackDown. So glad to see that Becky is still face. She attacks James Ellsworth, throws him out of the ring, and, basically attacks, Natalya and everyone in the ring, and she cleans house a little bit. Then the welcoming committee, they get their heat back immediately, and the welcoming committee goes back in. They attack Charlotte and Naomi, and the welcoming committee, I said community for a second. The welcoming committee, they need to change that name. That is so fucking stupid. They get the upper hand, and they end the segment like that, and what's going to happen after this, I don't know. We're going to have to find out. We then get a New Day promo, and the New Day, obviously, they're not around right now because of Kofi Kingston's injury, but they're going to be revitalized when they come back, and that goes back to the whole, not seeing the champion, I'm going to use that in quotations, the champion every week. The New Day is still over as shit for mostly, and I like the New Day. I know the New Day has soured some people. When they come back, they're going to be revitalized. I think a lot of people are missing the New Day more than what they're thinking right now. And when they come back, that's going to be a huge perk for SmackDown. So, can't wait to see the New Day come back, and I think they're going to be revitalized, and, they're going to be over as ever. Dolph Ziggler versus Cara, very quick match. What can I say about this match? Dolph Ziggler wins with a super kick. The only thing I want to say about this match is that Sin Cara's attire looks like Rey Mysterio's attire from Halloween Havoc 97, a full bodysuit. Now, it wasn't the same color because, you know, Rey Mysterio was wearing like this, kind of like this burgundy type color, like really dark red. Sin Cara was wearing more of a turquoise. It looks like when you turn the lights off, fucking Sin Cara will glow in the dark. But we didn't get to test that theory tonight. But Nakamura chance during this match, trying to get in the head of Ziggler. But I really think that Dolph Ziggler and Nakamura is gonna have a great match at Backlash. And another thing, I really think that Sin Cara should have stayed on Raw with Kalisto, or vice versa. Just have the Lucha Dragons again, because you're not utilizing either or right now. So, in my opinion, they should have, you know, have either or guys on SmackDown or Raw as Lucha Dragons. But because they're, you know, and Sin Cara was getting a little bit of Lucha chance in the match, so that tells you something right there. Alana vignette. We didn't see Rusev tonight. Oh my god, I'm so sad I didn't see Rusev tonight. I can't wait for some Masturbation Celebration to come back on my SmackDown screens. But now, one thing I want to say about the Lana vignette, yeah, she's coming in to wrestle. They have yet to explain, is she going to be separate from Rusev? I think that she is, just because they haven't really explained it. I think she's going to be separated from Rusev, but they're still obviously going to be together. You know what I mean? They're still obviously going to be together in certain moments, maybe like backstage, like randomly, where you see Rusev back there with Lana, like during an interview or something like that. But I don't think that Rusev is going to come out to the ring with Lana, and I don't think Lana's going to come out to the ring with Rusev anymore. They're still going to be together per se, but just not out in the ring area. Maybe in interviews and stuff like that, yes. But I just don't see them doing that at this point. If they do it, great. I don't mind it. I just think that with these vignettes, they're not really putting out front like, oh, well, can't wait for Lana to come in with her husband Rusev. They haven't really explained that. So I think they're going to be separated in as far as out in the ring area. But as far as like backstage interviews and stuff, I still think we're going to still see those two interact with each other because they have to. They're fucking husband and wife, so they have to. After the vignette, after that vignette, we go to another vignette for the best vignette I've seen on WWE probably in the past, I don't know. I think this is better than Heath Slater and Rhino last year. A Law and Order spoof called The Fashion Files. Fucking amazing from the Fashion Police. There was a lot of great shit in here. A lot of Easter eggs. You see, and I typed this all down. You see a picture of Classy Afraid Blassie. You see Classy because he was classy. Like, you know, everything makes sense. You know, like when Classy Afraid Blassie dresses well, and that's what in the Fashion Police, they're all about fashion. This is Vince McMahon's mugshot. Great shit. They show a picture of Shinsuke Nakamura and says the King of No Style. Funny shit. They have a picture of John Cena. It says Cena's whereabouts unknown. A picture of the Big Boss Man. Who else would have been there? You know, another like as far as of authority figure. Who was there another authority like figure in WWE other than the Big Boss Man, the Fashion Police with like a police type gimmick? I'm thinking, man. I would have marked out if I would have saw Nails. If they would have had a Nails picture back there, I would have fucking marked out holler crazy, but there was no Nails picture. But other than the Big Boss Man, I can't really think of anybody who was like a police type figure. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys. I can't think of it off the top of my head. There's probably some other gimmicks out there, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments section. And there was a fashion victim picture, which I believe it was of Mojo Fuck Raleigh. I'm not sure. But those were the Easter eggs in there. But the Fashion Police in this here, they go through offenses made by the Usos, including one that says that they were Jay and Jimmy walking. Oh my fucking god. Fucking laugh out loud, funny haha type of stuff. They're saying that, that they're going to, they said, what did they say? They said that they're going to take care of the case at Backlash. They said something different. The big hit is going to be at Backlash. At first I thought they said Backrash, which would be even more funny. Because, you know, at one point they had the rashes. Remember when they had the rashes? And I think I don't know if they say backlash or backrash. It didn't really hit me. I think they said backlash, so let me know about that in the comment section, because this vignette was like that. It went very quickly, and plus I was trying to get the whole Easter eggs in the back. But very fucking funny segment. They needed, if they become tag team champions, they don't necessarily need to do this every week, but they need to do this every week when they're not wrestling. The Fashion Files. This will be so fucking great. If WWE takes advantage of this, this would be so fucking great. They can make t-shirts out of this, and they can sell like fucking hotcakes. I will buy a fucking t-shirt if they do something like this of the Fashion Files. That would be fucking great. But fucking great stuff. So that was it for that segment. And after that, we go into our main event of Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho, which I went over for you guys at the beginning. Chris Jericho loses the WWE United States Championship back to Kevin Owens. And, you know, again, like I said, this is really doing a couple things here. Riding off Jericho, getting Kevin Owens the title back, and making Kevin Owens looking like that NXT-like heel from him. But overall, guys, I give this show better than Raw. Not too much better. Like I said, the main event was good, especially with the ending. The beginning was good. The Fashion Police vignette. Some down stuff here. The Ziggler match with Sin Cara. It was a decent match, but it didn't really do anything for me here. It was all decent. Everything was decent tonight. Only things I thought was great was the ending with Owens, but, you know, being more of a monster type heel. Not really a monster heel, but being more of a dominant heel. The Fashion Police segment were great. And the beginning I thought was pretty good as well. But everything else was decent. There was really nothing here I thought was bad. Probably the worst thing was the match between Jinder Mahal and Sami Zayn. Even though I thought that was a decent match, I just thought it was too slow, and Jinder Mahal really needs to start polishing up on his skills, because I will start ripping him a new asshole if he doesn't. Alright guys, well, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. If you guys did like this here, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Be sure to come check out my NXT review tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and like the Facebook page. We're going to have a lot of great stuff, exciting stuff coming for you guys this week, including the Getting Over podcast. You guys don't want to miss out on the debut of that. You guys don't want to miss the debut of my new Top 10 series coming this week. And you guys do not want to miss the debut of What Else Happened. It is going to be fantastic. It's something different on YouTube. Again, I'm building this up like it's going to be fucking great. I'm not too sure on how it's going to end up being, guys. But I really want you guys to check out that video. I should have that up by maybe Sunday. I think it's already done. The video's already finished. I'm just waiting to upload it. I think I'm going to do it on Sunday. So that's going to be like a 1 month type of deal. One month, you know, one video per month. What the fuck am I saying? I'm so tired, guys. One video per month for that type of series there, because it takes a lot of editing and stuff like that. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys leave a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. My name is JD Venom, part of Venom Nation Wrestling, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.